Most people are afraid of narcissists. But the person you should never underestimate is a peaceful person who has finally had enough, because when an empath break, they don't explode. They evolve. And when that happens, the entire dynamic changes. Today we're going deep into a psychological truth most people never talk about. Why a fed-up empath is more dangerous than a narcissist. Not dangerous in violence, but dangerous to manipulation, dangerous to control, dangerous to emotional games. And if you've ever felt like the nice one, this might change how you see yourself forever. Most people think empaths are weak, too emotional, too forgiving, too soft for the real world. But psychology, and even Carl Jung's shadow theory, suggests something very different. Empaths are not weak. They are highly aware nervous systems. They read micro-expressions, energy shifts, tone changes, unspoken tension in rooms. They notice what others miss. And because of this, they often absorb emotional responsibility that was never theirs to carry. But here's the problem. When someone is constantly absorbing emotional chaos, one of two things happens. They break, or they transform. Have you ever reached a point where you just stopped explaining yourself? That moment matters, because that's usually the beginning of empath evolution. Empaths don't snap randomly. They accumulate. Years of being misunderstood, being emotionally used, being the fixer, being the peacekeeper, being the emotional therapist friend, being the one who always understands everyone else, until one day, their nervous system says, "Enough." And here's the dangerous part. Once an empath sees the pattern, they can never unsee it. Narcissistic personalities survive on three things: attention, emotional reactions, access. But a healed or fed-up empath removes all three. No drama, no emotional supply, no explanation. Just distance. And psychologically, that is devastating to someone who relies on control, because control requires participation. And empaths, once awakened, simply stop participating. Life hack. The most powerful boundary is the one you don't explain. You don't need speeches. You need consistency. Carl Jung believed, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Many empaths think, I just attract toxic people. But shadow work asks a harder question. Where did you learn that love means tolerating emotional pain? Where did you learn that peace means self-sacrifice? Where did you learn that being needed equals being valuable? These are shadow patterns, and when an empath integrates their shadow, they stop needing approval. And that is when they become psychologically unstoppable. A fed-up empath becomes calmer, quieter, more observant, more selective, less reactive, not colder, just clearer. And people who benefited from their old version will call this changed. But it's not change, it's alignment. Because society is comfortable with overgiving people, over-explaining people, self-sacrificing people. But emotionally sovereign people, they disrupt unhealthy systems. They stop playing roles. They stop being predictable. And unpredictability breaks manipulation cycles. Think about this scenario. You stop replying instantly. You stop explaining your boundaries. You stop fixing other people's emotions. Suddenly, people feel uncomfortable, not because you're wrong, but because you're no longer controllable. A fed-up empath isn't heartless. They just stop bleeding for people who wouldn't even bandage them. This is emotional maturity, not cruelty. When empaths reclaim their energy, they stop attracting chaos, because predators seek access points, and healed empaths close access points. They don't chase. They don't prove. They don't perform goodness anymore. They just exist in it. Stoicism teaches you can't control others. You can only control your response. A fed-up empath masters response, not reaction, and this is where emotional power lives. You feel peaceful being alone. You no longer overshare. You observe before trusting. You don't argue to be understood. You walk away faster. You feel less guilt for choosing yourself. If this is happening, you're not losing empathy. You're losing self-abandonment. The final stage is simple. You stop trying to be good, and you start being real, and real people cannot be easily manipulated.
There is a version of you
that believed love required exhaustion, that believed kindness required silence, that believed understanding others meant abandoning yourself. That version of you did the best it could, but you don't live there anymore. The world does not need more self-sacrificing souls. It needs more self-aware ones, because healed people don't spread pain. They end cycles. Maybe you're not becoming colder. Maybe you're becoming precise. Maybe you're not losing people. Maybe you're losing roles you were never meant to play. And maybe the most dangerous thing you can become is someone who finally knows their worth, their limits, and their peace is not negotiable. If something here spoke to you, even quietly, even in a place you don't fully have words for yet, you don't have to explain it. You don't have to defend why it matters to you. You don't have to justify why it stirred something inside you. And you definitely don't have to rush to figure it all out. Some realizations are not meant to be solved immediately. Some truths are meant to be felt, allowed, and slowly understood over time. You can just sit with it. Sit with the parts of you that are waking up. Sit with the parts of you that are tired of overgiving. Sit with the quiet voice inside you that is starting to choose peace, even if it feels unfamiliar, even if it feels a little lonely at first, even if it feels like you're becoming someone new, because sometimes growth doesn't feel like fireworks. Sometimes it feels like distance, like clarity, like silence where chaos used to live. And if you recognize yourself somewhere in this conversation, in the empathy, in the exhaustion, in the quiet strength that's slowly replacing survival mode, then maybe you're not too sensitive. Maybe you're not too much. Maybe you're not broken for feeling deeply in a world that often rewards numbness. Maybe you're just becoming more honest with yourself. And that takes courage most people never talk about. So take your time. You are allowed to grow slowly. You are allowed to outgrow patterns. You are allowed to choose yourself without becoming someone you're not. And if you want more conversations like this, more psychology, more shadow work, more emotional intelligence, more reflections that help you understand people and understand yourself, you can subscribe, not because you have to, not because you owe anything, but because maybe this can be a space where you think, where you reflect, where you remember parts of yourself you thought you had to hide. A place where you don't have to perform strength. You can just be strong, quietly. And if you're already here, if you've been listening, if you've been reflecting alongside me, then stay a while. Not because you need fixing, but because sometimes being understood is where real change begins.